Welcome to the Ruffells ad break, the first of the Ruffells Roughcasts. I'm Tim McInnes, Managing Director. In this podcast, we dig into how the creatives we work with get the most out of every brief to deliver best results for you. At Ruffells, we're about the people, and when we're working with best in breed, it's easy to get great results. We also reckon that when the majority of our effective brain time is spent at work, you might as well enjoy the ride. So, joining us this episode is Brae Toia, makeup artist, wardrobe and prop stylist, all-round Swiss Army knife of excellence, and great vibe bringer. Brae has recently been spending time as an HOD on Emmy-winning TV shows, films we can't yet talk about, and any number of projects with household names. In this episode, we talk about working away from home, how clients can get the best results by making sure they have booked the right crew at the right time, and how there's no talent south of the Bombay Hills. But less from me and more from Brae. Ruffells
Oh no!
ad break.
All right.
Ruffells ad break.
It's always been makeup. Hair and makeup. What are you trained in?
Makeup.
In makeup.
Makeup, and I'm not a hairdresser.
Yep.
I'm a trained hair stylist.
Yes.
So I don't cut and colour, but I have cut.
And coloured.
Yeah, but I'm actually, but I'm not trained in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a trained makeup artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hair stylist.
What was the thing? Because I'm gonna go into the other side of it. But let's do the technical stuff first, right? So what was it? At what point in your life did you go, "That's me. I want some of that"?
So I was living in the Hokianga Harbour, way up north, as an art teacher and choreographer, and did some fire performing and just bits of everything.
Yep.
And had just had my first son, and I don't like PCA meetings. And like having to do schedules and stuff as a teacher and plan classes. But I was filling in for a friend of mine who is a great art teacher, and we had a couple of exhibitions together. And then I was like, I need a career. I want to make some money, and I want to like do really well at whatever I'm doing, and I've got aspirations for myself about what I want to do with my life.
Yep.
But I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So I got prospectuses from all over the country, like seriously all over the country. And Christchurch was the first one that I was like, yeah, I want to live back in Christchurch. Rent's cheap. I know I've got friends down there. I know how to, if you need something bizarre, then you know the best place to go to get it and where all the deals are. So yeah, I want to work in Christchurch. And there was a makeup course down there, and then it suddenly it clicked for me. Yeah, of course I want to do makeup. It's like painting, but on people's faces.
Yep.
I'd always loved watching Miss Universe. Remember then they were on TV?
I remember.
The backstage bits of them getting their makeup and stuff done, and the backstage of fashion shows.
I don't remember that bit.
Oh, don't you?
No.
I just love watching backstage of fashion shows, like Victoria's Secret
I remember
fashion shows.
Yeah, I've seen those.
The backstage bits, not the in front of it. And used to always love photo shoots like with the 90s supermodels and all that stuff and magazines. And I'm like,
So
I just want to do makeup.
Then what was it? Was it like the glam? Was it like, was it?
No, because it's always the behind the scenes bit that always interests me.
Yeah.
It's the creativeness. And my favourite makeup artist, who's this woman called Pat McGrath, who I just adore. I love the fact that she is heralded as this amazing makeup artist because of her talent and her creativity, not because of the glam and how she looks.
Yep.
She hardly wears any makeup, doesn't look like she wears any, and is just really relaxed and chilled, but comes up with these amazing avant-garde stuff, and it's like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to work with those people. I don't want to be the model in front of it. I want to be the person creating it.
So what age are you at that time?
22, 23.
Yep.
And I decided, that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to come down to Christchurch, I'm going to study makeup, and I'm going to get out. Do not end up in your hometown.
Yep.
And then I met my partner 3 months into being here.
Game over,
that's it.
Yeah. That's always the way though, right? People move somewhere and then they stay for love or comfort.
And it's good.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I love the fact that I can still, I travel and I get to be exotic around different places and do different things.
Yeah.
But I always get to come home.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm home.
Yeah.
And it's in Christchurch and they've got spring and autumn. But
Yeah.
you don't get that in the North Island.
Yes. Yeah.
Auckland's wet and then wet and hot.
Yeah.
And
Muggy.
then hot and then hot and then hot and wet and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like 2 seasons.
Yep.
Whereas here it's like daffodils and blossoms and
Snow.
Yeah. And summer's cool, beaches and
So
it's so easy.
So it's been
Travel
intentional to stay here because you literally, I mean, yesterday you were on a plane back from Auckland. You spent a couple of weeks there. You've been doing a lot of travel
Lots.
in the last few years.
Yeah. Lots, especially in the last year I finally got a Corrie Club card.
Yes, excellent.
So,
Can we talk about what you were doing or is that still hush-hush?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's not talk
remember
about
if I
it.
signed a contract or
That's all
not, but
good.
I've been working on a film
Yep.
with some people in it.
Yep. Yeah.
Which has been really good.
That's all good. When the trailer comes out for that, we'll link it to this.
And
But
before that, I was working on a TV series.
Yeah.
So
the second series,
second
right?
Series of actually I can talk about that one of a series called Rudangi, which is a transgender guy's journey from being in Auckland to going back to his hometown, having to retell everybody and reintroduce himself
The hometown is in Huntley, right? Or
in a secret place called Rudangi.
okay, that's where the town is. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Just in the North Island somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's a dairy farm, rugby kind of town, and he comes back having to reintroduce himself as being hey, I left as a girl and now I'm coming back as a male.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so what, you were HOD, you head of department in there?
Head of department, makeup, hair and wardrobe.
Okay, so...
Two departments.
Okay. There's so many things that we're going to dig into. But why is it, I know why, but for anybody who's sort of consuming this content, however they do that, whether that's with the video or with the audio or both, you do both these days, then why is it that you're travelling from Christchurch to Auckland so regularly to be HOD on film projects and TV series and all that kind of stuff?
I don't know. Because I want to.
Because you're good at what you do.
Yeah, I think I put it out there that's kind of like my goal. I decided 2 years ago, I love working in Christchurch and it's great. And I love coming back here and still working back here, but I kind of want the next step and the next level and to push myself a little bit further. And at the moment, there hasn't been enough work down there. There's starting to be now, which is great. And I've got a project coming up next year, which will be down here, which I'm so looking forward to. But yeah, there's more constant work up there.
Yep.
And so once I decided that, I've been trying to push to the Auckland artists and the producers up there that I'm just a flight away. It's not that hard. I've got a vehicle and accommodation and a kit up there and I can just jump on a plane whenever. Yeah, I don't need to be, oh no, she's from Christchurch, it's too hard. So I can be ex-Auckland or ex-Palmerston North, I was there a couple of weeks ago, or ex-Dunedin.
So why do you think that is so hard? Because, when I was working in London, I worked all over Europe.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I was just based in London.
Yeah.
And nobody blinks an eye. And here it's not even an international flight.
No.
So what do you reckon there are some, there's some resistance to?
I think, well, and this isn't anything against people from Auckland because I originally was born there, but I think you get into this whole, there's nothing beyond the Bombay Hills.
Yeah, true.
And that's kind of it. And if people aren't directly in front of you, then they don't really exist.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to stop that because I did work actually on a project a couple of years ago where they were calling people in from Australia because they thought there was no one left in New Zealand to work who had the experience.
Yep.
So they kind of just think, oh, well, there's nobody else who has experience who can do this. So I'm trying to change that and just say, hey, hello, I'm just down here. It's not that hard. And hopefully it is working.
Yep.
I'm up there lots. I think I spent 10 months up there last year.
Yeah.
Working on various projects. So, 10 out of 12 months is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Especially, that'll segue very nicely into my next question, which is about the thing you're proudest of, the work or the things that you've done over the last sort of 12 months or so. And one of the things that you said to me was that you're a partner and a mum.
Yeah.
You know, so that's big, right?
Yeah.
Is that as big or bigger than the work, or what is that?
I think it always is because they're awesome.
Yeah.
You know, you're basically raising little humans that you've like created in your body. And then they've come out and they're like helpless, and then you've like grown them up, and thankfully they've gotten old enough now where they can like look after themselves. My partner is so super supportive.
Yep.
And he's from the industry and hasn't worked in it for a while, but comes occasionally in and out.
Yep.
But he
gets
drives
it.
around. He gets it. He gets when they wrap at 5 p.m, he knows I'm not going to be home realistically until 7 or 8.
Yep.
And he's fine with that.
Yep.
He understands that I need to come off a big, huge job and just sleep for a whole day.
Yep.
Because I'm tired.
Yep.
And that I get paid like once a month sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's good. So he's really good. The kids are like growing up. The youngest is 15, so he's at home still. And the other 3 are all at university and have moved out.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of just planned out nicely. Well, not planned out nicely. I think I've probably envisaged this is how it's going to be.
Yeah. And you're realizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm just so grateful for it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you've worked hard, you know.
Yeah.
Tell me about The Hobbit.
Yeah, so I worked on that. That was my first big job outside of Christchurch. I'd been called up from a friend of mine, Richard Mueller, who's a wig maker, who works a lot in Europe and the UK. And he was like, oh, they're looking for additional people on there. And I was like, oh my God, this is like huge. And went up there, and it was the first time being on set where I was like, whoa, this is what happens if you've got money and you're a director, and everything that you can imagine and visualize and want, you actually have the money to get it. And you don't have to green screen it, and you can actually get it made.
Yep.
You know, and there were whole buildings and whole sets all made, and all of the elven cloaks all had beautiful little script all written along the bottom of it, and they had the buttons were handmade little leaf buttons. It's ridiculous. So cool. And that was the first time I actually came off, and I learnt so much. I learned how to apply wigs properly, and to work really fast, because you've got like 20 minutes to do somebody's full wig, do all their things, do all their makeup, and then you spend all day on set just looking after a big group of people.
Yep.
So that was my first experience of that, going, whoa, and seeing the key makeup artists, because every actor has a makeup artist that's just theirs, that looks after just them on set. And it was the first time seeing them, going, oh my God, they're so cool. I can't wait. I can't wait till one day I can be one of them.
Standing.
Yeah, and so that's actually what I just came back from, doing a job being a key makeup artist.
Excellent.
And it's taken me 15 years to get to that point.
Yep.
But I'm just like, oh, I'm doing it now.
You're doing it. Yeah. That's excellent. That's excellent. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, or maybe appreciate, especially if they're clients and stuff like that. They don't appreciate the level of effort and work and dedication that goes into the craft on set. And
there is so many. That happens all the time, like on commercials.
Yep.
The clients come on set, or the people who own the location, or different people, and they're like, whoa, this takes so long.
It takes so long. Why are there so many people who aren't really doing anything? It's like, well, because you turned up at 8 a.m. and they've been here since 3. That's why it's lunchtime.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I love about being on set, is everybody is the best at what they do, and specialised for what they've got the skills for. And everybody looks after their own separate department, but it's the collaboration of everything coming together that can make something amazing.
Yep.
You know, it's not just, and yeah, it's a 30-second little ad on TV or a 15-second or whatever on the internet, but, you know, I don't have to worry about the lighting or the sets or anything. And as a director, you don't have to worry. You can concentrate on the, what's it called?
The frame.
The frame. And where is everything sitting and the actual performance, because you know that how the actor's looking is up to me, and the actor knows that, oh, good, I can make sure that I don't have like a massive piece of hair sticking out because someone else is looking after that. And we all kind of bring our own expertise into it to make this.
100%. But I've worked with a whole bunch of people across the board and you know, in various positions and stuff like that over the years. And what I think is really great about you, Brae, is that you turn up pretending like you're going to listen to what it is that we're asking of you, but you've actually got a whole bunch of prep that you've already done. And you go, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, look at this. Bring out your phone and you go, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. We could do this, because you've understood the assignment, right? So you've read the brief, you know the script, you go, cool. So I've got however many talent, blah, 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 blah. And that's awesome, because that's what makes any project work, is when the people who are
the specialist
in their thing get to do their thing.
Yay.
Right? Yeah.
And they get to be creative.
Yeah.
And that's that collaboration.
That's it. That's it. And having the trust over years or whatever. And I think, you know, like, you know, when you are working in a high pressure environment, there are lots of dollars on the table. And I mean, it's one or the other, right? There are no dollars on the table. And so everybody's doing multiple roles to get the job done. Or there's lots of money on the table. You just get to do the thing, one thing well, right? But being in Christchurch, we've got to be good at doing both, right?
Yeah.
Got to be flexible.
Oh, yes.
And so the other part of it is that not only have you, well, you're still obviously makeup artist, you're doing hair and makeup, but you're also doing wardrobe and design. You're also doing a bunch of stuff like that.
Yes.
And on the flip side of that, and I don't know if many people kind of consider that, you're also sort of like a psychologist. You know, like
therapist.
You bring the vibe. You know, get people ready so that when they are on camera, they're ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Talk me through it.
Well, I don't know if I've really seen it. I've heard about stories about these mythical people who will just come in with all of their own stuff, and it's such a downer on everyone else. But I just like to make people feel happy and good and focused, that they can focus on their side of it, on what they have to do.
Yep.
And here we go again. We occasionally run dance parties. Me and my partner used to be part of an organisation that would do them. And I always ran either the gate, letting people in and out, or the cafe side, and sell people things. And everyone's always like, how do you keep your energy up? How are you looking so happy all the time? And it's like, well, I'm not always. But when a car comes up, I can spend 10 seconds going, hey, yay, you've made it, congratulations, here, blah, 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 this is that, this is whatever, and send them off their way, because I'm the first person that they've met.
Yep.
And so I set the vibe for how the rest of the thing's going to be.
Yeah.
And so if I just went up and just was like, oh, yeah, cool, yeah, give me money, go down there.
Go that way.
Yeah, that would be really annoying. So I've always tried to make it, it's just easier and so much more fun if you just spend that little bit of energy just going, woohoo!
Yep.
Which is what I want everybody else to have.
But it's knackering, right? And if you do long days and then you do long months and stuff, it takes a lot out of
but you can just you can do it and then go,
take a breath. Yep. Excellent.
And not be like that as well. And you just need to know how to when and to turn it on and not turn it on, and which is fine. And so yes, I do work really hard, but then I do have days where I just sleep and don't get out of bed and watch Netflix all day.
Rest. Let's talk about your first nationwide campaign
Yes.
My tax.
MyTax.co.nz.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Iconic. And just the whole money on your mind.
I know.
Such a good line.
It was. Thank you. They didn't like it at first. We had to work hard to keep
it's
that.
so good.
Yeah. So
The delivery.
and it was great, you know. But that was a massive team effort as well, right? That was everybody pitching in.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like work because it was always so fun.
Yep.
You know? It was more like a bunch of mates hanging out than working.
People who are good at the thing that they do coming together to go to work on that thing. We had Nick Lowry on a podcast and he was saying, I don't really work. I kind of like flounce around, you know? And it's true, right? So when you're in that zone and when you've got those people around you who so what did you like about that campaign? What were you dealing with?
Yeah, it was my first big national one. So I did makeup here and then eventually makeup here and wardrobe. I'm just trying to remember. I think I did wardrobe from the start.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember.
And then it was quite good as well because my partner was involved and he did art department for the first year or two as well. And yeah, it was just fun people being fun and creative and well, it's always good being on set with you anyway.
I remember driving around Christchurch, I think it was 2 or 3 a.m. on a bus trying to get a shot with a massive jib floating around and the bus driver just going, we're going around the block again. Yeah. It's like, yeah. I think that's the strangest job that bus driver had ever had.
And now do you want me to just do it again?
Yeah. Again, because we need to time that scene so that we got traffic lights in the background and we've got all that kind of stuff.
And the reflections. Yeah. And actually 3 of my kids are in there.
They are.
Are in that ad.
They are.
2. Well, some of my children. One of them in twice.
Pretty cool though.
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
It was such a cool campaign. It was just, you know, and Shay just being Shay.
Yep.
And just being himself and just everyone just being themselves and hanging out. But it was, I think because it was that collaboration. Everyone is actually just focusing on their own little thing and so it wasn't really working. It didn't feel like work.
Yep.
And you just being creative.
Well, do
it this way.
Yeah, roll with it. I mean, when you've got talent like that, you'd be stupid not to use it, right?
Oh, definitely.
So one of the things you've been referred to before is the Swiss Army knife of life. You seem to have everything in your bag. You seem to know exactly where to go for it. So I think that's the thing. Also, a lot of clients don't realize that, you know, the people we work with, I can't think of any one person who has had kind of a very linear journey where they started in this one thing and that's where they are. You haven't done that. You kind of stayed kind of in the same camp, but you've also gone and a bit of that and a bit of that and a bit of that.
It's only been actually lately that I've been doing feature films where I'm not costume.
Yep.
I think my first 4 feature films were costume.
Yep.
Which I'm not trained in costume.
Yeah. But you know how to find it.
Yeah, and I know what looks good.
Yeah.
And the more work that I do, the more stuff I have and the experience to go with it of like, I've done something similar. Sweet as I can kind of do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you find that, are you kind of, I don't know how to say that, do you find that you're kind of, how do clients treat you or how do customers treat you? Do they kind of think that wardrobe is a last thought or do they, you know what I mean? Like, because they care about is the label facing the right way? Is the ice the correct level of melted so that their product looks amazing? And then they go, hold on, well, why is that person wearing green and it should be red? Or
costume and makeup.
Yeah.
I do get booked very last minute.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have like 2 days notice that I have to fly up to Auckland or that I'm doing something. It's very rarely that I have more than a week's notice on something.
In my experience, that's not the best way to do it because then you're booked.
Yeah, it is because I get booked fast and I have to turn down a lot of other stuff, but I can't help it. I'm kind of like, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's, it's weird being an afterthought because it makes so much sense. You can actually tell on screen if makeup wasn't there or not, or if wardrobe wasn't there or not, because especially men, people think men don't need makeup, and they're so red and shiny and sweaty, and their hair sticks up, and no one else is looking at it.
Yeah.
But as soon as it comes out, it's like,
Yeah, and especially
that looks cheap.
and especially when that's the image, right? That is the bit that people see.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
look at our sweaty red person. Whereas, like, it's so easy to fix.
It's so easy to fix. Think about it up front, people.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you mentioned is about how long things take, right?
Yeah.
Everything takes time. Everything is considered. It doesn't just happen by accident.
Nope.
So I guess for those clients, customers, agencies who know how the process is, they're not surprised by it. But by those people who, and especially in Christchurch, but I think also as people go from, I don't know, making a little video with an iPhone to stepping it up, that process of education with a client is kind of important too, right? And so how do you know how to on-set etiquette and behavior? How do you manage that? Because sometimes I bet you could just go and, solve someone's problem and tell them how do you deal with all that stuff?
I think the more time that I get and the more communication that I'm given, especially with like a brief, can help a lot. Because, people don't mean to forget about makeup and hair and other stuff, and there's lots of other things to deal with. But I think it's actually cheaper for the client if I get communicated to early enough. I was just recently on something, and they have PPEs, which is a pre-production something. PPMs. Pre-production meeting.
Yeah, meeting.
Yes,
PPE is personal protective equipment. Acronyms.
The PPM, we'd had a thing, and then when it came to the day of the shoot, I'd gotten like so many options of clothing, because you never buy one piece of clothing of what's going to be used. You have like 4 of each one. So that there's options.
Something with frills, something without frills, something with a collar, something,
bit of colour and this and that, and so that it all kind of works together. And we'd had PPMs, we'd had 2 of them, and I'd come up with a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I can talk about all this.
Well, that's okay. Just talk vaguely. Nobody wants detail. Nobody, if they're still listening, they're more interested in the chat.
The clients decided that they'd like something completely different that I was told at the beginning they won't want at all. And I was like, okay, no, I can get up at like really early o'clock and go and buy that thing for you.
Yeah.
And go and do that. And I was over budget because I'd gone in a different direction to what I'd been told and what I thought was going to happen. But it was just... It's a shame because it makes me feel like I haven't done something properly. But really I just hadn't been communicated to.
Yeah. Well, that's not on you though.
No.
It's
but
just
it was still, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to be under budget all the time. But everything does cost money.
Yeah.
Because I do have to get like 4 different options.
Yep.
And then whatever one's used, I'll take the other 3 back.
Yep.
But that takes a lot of time as well, going and shopping for that amount of stuff.
Yeah. And people and sizes and the way things fit and all that kind of stuff affects everything. Hey, so I think we've kind of covered this one, which is about relationships and relationship building and all that kind of stuff and how important that is. So it's not just – so for you it's probably with the talent. Or actors or whatever, but it's also with the crew and it's also with producers and directors, and it's sometimes also with clients, because clients will come over and they want to meet who's going to be on screen, right?
Well, and then they also, and it's really good to be able to pull up a whole bunch of imagery so that you can communicate of like going in this direction. These are the colour palettes of stuff, which I think is why I do like to multitask and do lots of stuff. Control freak OCD is so that you get that cohesion of the makeup, the hair, the wardrobe, the background, all looking the same and it all fits together.
Yep.
So there's not, a patterned outfit with a patterned background with a pattern this and that, and then it takes all of the emphasis away from whatever's there for you.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just I don't think I'm the most talented makeup artist in the world. I think that I think people would just rather have me on set than some bitch. Not that other makeup artists are bitch, but I think people just really like hearing my laugh on set or something. I don't know.
I do.
But I'm very grateful.
I do. I love it. When Brae's turned up.
Oh,
You definitely do. And you know what? That's part of the setting the scene. Because often, as you know, so if we're shooting a TV commercial or something, when people are setting up, we've got music playing.
Yeah.
It's not like none of us got into this because we wanted to sit in front of a computer screen, all the time. And
no. I think that's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But some people love it. And for them, that's great. And actually, we've got a lot of time in front of computers and stuff like that. But, you create the vibe you want, and it shows on screen.
Thank you.
I think that's the thing.
Well, yeah, it's the vibe that you want.
Well, we
clients want.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you don't want to do jobs that suck, right?
No.
Neither do I. And ultimately, I think all of our clients want to have work that represents their brand and their interests. And sometimes, the reason that they're engaging with us is because they need people who are able to give it some life.
There are so many cool brands out there as well. I think that's something else I really love about our industry, especially with commercial stuff, is that you meet such cool people and cool brands, and you're like, whoa, what an awesome thing.
How do I get some of that in my life?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and meeting people, and you're like, wow, your story's so inspirational.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's so fun.
Brae, if you had one favourite Ruffells moment, and there have been lots.
Well, some of them I can't say out loud.
No. Please don't say those ones. Have there been? Because I've got loads. So when I think about some of them, for me, key Brae moments, I think about sticking a unicorn horn on a pony. Which is ridiculous. Was it even you? It wasn't my department.
It wasn't my
yours?
department.
No. But
it was like, what is going on here?
Getting it done. Right?
Yeah.
Getting it done.
I think my favourite one is it was for a music video for Pacific Heights.
Yeah.
And you'd given me a vague brief, and I'd met the person and they were really cool and things, and then you're like, yeah, something kind of graphic. And I was like, awesome, okay.
Yeah.
And then I put up some imagery and I was like, I really like this image, and I've been saving these photos on Pinterest, and you're like, yes,
that one,
you just go for it.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just did this massive cool triangle thing on one eye with a really dark lip that was so good. And yeah, she looked amazing.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and I've got that image on my Instagram, and I've got it on my website, and I'm just so proud of it as being whoa, I did that, which was really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I love just that freedom that you give me to be like, yeah.
Yeah, well, do
that.
You know the things. Look at me.
Yeah.
What do I know?
And it turned out to be a great music video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Brae, how do we find you? If anybody out there is looking, we'll put, throw in a bunch of links and stuff like that. So how do we find you?
Brae Toia is my name. But my business is called Makeup Artistry NZ. I've got a website, www.makeupartistrynz.com. I have an Instagram called Makeup Artistry NZ. I have a Facebook, Makeup Artistry NZ. And then it also comes from our umbrella company, Celebrate NZ Limited, which is spelt really weird, so it's spelt with the number 8 in it.
We'll leave that one out.
It's bizarre. But yeah, Makeup Artistry NZ is me, and you can see all my little travels and a lot of me in the Choro Club and on planes going, oh shit, I should probably do an obligatory plane thing photo.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, thank you very much for coming on, giving us your time today.
You're welcome.
A treat as always.
Well, I do, as my partner even says, do anything for Tim McInnes. He's awesome. He's one of our favourite people in the world.
Awesome. That's amazing. Thanks, Brae.
You're welcome.
All right.